it was remarkable that I realized, even if you try and mentally deal with something or in the physical world try and do all of the right things, it still can be stuck in your body.
It's interesting that the trauma from your childhood becomes a physical pain. It starts bothering you at the age of after 40 years old.
Is the first woman in your life triggered like this? No. Previous work, there was one more lady like this. Okay, so my question, who in your childhood triggered out the same emotion what that lady? So it's leading them slowly back to their root.
People live in isolation. You don't talk to anybody. So if somebody is there, like Anita, to touch on a point, emotional point, or about your life, then you open up to them.
Because I've become okay with whatever the trauma was, it no longer held the charge. And so when I brought it up with my mother or with my father, different instances, it was welcome.
Today's episode is sponsored by Wellnest, a sanctuary for the body and nervous system here in Dubai at Spring Souk, and a space I genuinely trust. One of the most profound sessions I've experienced with them was something called Recalibration and Clarity, an intuitive bodywork journey that works with the nervous system and the body's energy pathways to gently release emotional and physical holding. I left feeling deeply grounded, open, and reconnected to myself in a way that felt both subtle and powerful. I've also personally used their infrared sauna and cold plunge facilities, which are state-of-the-art. And for the Enlightened DXB community, Wellnest is offering 50% off for new customers on infrared sauna, cold plunges, or sports recovery and therapeutic massages. Just use the code EDXB50. We'll see you there.
Welcome to another episode of the Enlightened DXB podcast. I'm super excited today because I'm joined by two remarkable people from Wellnest. Wellnest is a longevity and wellness center in Spring Souk, right here in Dubai, right in my neighborhood. And it's a sanctuary where longevity, emotional balance, and embodied healing meet. So I'm super, super excited to welcome Peyman Sharifi, the managing partner, and Anita Spishek, a gifted somatic practitioner who works directly with the body's deeper layers. And she's a specialist in craniofacial therapy, spiral stabilization, and visceral organ manipulation, which I had a taste of a few weeks ago. So I can't wait to talk to you about it. Let's welcome them on the show. Hi, Anita. Hi, Peyman.
Hi, Erika.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about this conversation because it's really about the body's wisdom, and the work that you do is really helping people connect to that intuition, to that body's wisdom, so that we can be in our optimum selves. So I wanted to start talking with you from that perspective. How do you define true well-being, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, in a world where so many of us are disconnected from our bodies?
Yeah, as we know also in this world now everybody's hectic. We are all the time in rush. We have so many responsibilities. When the person comes, we try to make them in alignment. Grounding, it depends where that person it is in that moment. But when enter somebody into us, so the first things what we do, where we gonna start? What is the first things to make them in alignment? So the spiral stabilization, it's a special exercise or treatment, what is able to make your head with your sternum and with your hip in one line. If you are not in one line, you are not able to receive the good things, or you just receive and not getting out from your body the bad energies or what is hard on you. At the moment, you can every day face a lot of things, and it can stuck around your body. The storage is incredible. It can be in your hip. It can be around your cranium sacral, your mouth, chest, liver, kidneys. Everything is stored somewhere. We are also using infrared sauna. It's not just biohacking. You go there, you disconnect from the world. You leave out your phone, you go inside, and just you are alone there with the light. And a lot of people love it. Then you go to the cold and hot. So you also calming down your nervous system. That is one of the part of our body what is controlling us. If you are in fight and flight, you just all the time fighting. At the night, your nights are not good. So then we are coming in the point, okay, when you are fight and fly, what is the another things is triggering you out? Is the shoulder pain? It's usually shoulder pain. It's more about the ladies.
So women have more shoulder pain.
Yeah, and the guys are having more lower back pain.
Why? What's the connection? What do you think it is?
It's just the guys, they trying to balance themselves by the hip. Okay, so many times I see, especially the guys. Okay, I want to do this movement. Is it the right movement, or they questioning themselves about the hip? Okay, how I can do this? What if I do the wrong step? I need to think of my family. I need to think everything what is behind, what can go wrong. But if they don't do the right step, then they can suffer if they are not in the right place. And also betrayals then can start, especially by the guys. And the ladies having the feminine part, it's more about betrayal on the front, around the part.
Womb. I've heard that.
Yeah,
really in the hips and in the womb is where women store trauma.
Yes, trauma. Or jealousy, or breakups, or sometimes I see somebody don't wish you to get a child, so they're sending you the vibes around this area.
They're sending you what?
Like bad energies, like...
You can feel that when you're working with other people?
Yes.
Yeah, it was really beautiful having my experience working with you, Anita, because specifically with the organ manipulation, I hadn't really had something that intense before. It was more on a physio side, I guess, in the past. But for you, I could tell immediately that you were tuning into something else, and you could feel whatever emotional or emotions or energies that were trapped in each of those organs. And I thought that was fascinating. I wanted you to speak a little bit more into that in terms of what you see. We recently had Daniel on here, who's a Chinese medicine expert, and he was talking about how the lungs hold a lot of grief. The chest holds also like a lot of heartache, of course. But that the pineal gland and all of these different parts hold sort of different things, or the gut holds fear, for example. And I'm curious what you come across in your practice when you're manipulating many organs. Where are we storing different emotions?
Yeah, the visceral manipulation, it's, for example, is osteopathic treatment. So it's a medical way. So there are two kinds of techniques. They are indirect and direct. The indirect is you can feel the emotion. So, and the direct, you go inside and you release the organ. That's the mobility and the motility. Because the motility, it's a natural rhythm of our body. So even you are not a healer, you calm down yourself and you can feel your rhythm of the organs or any part of the body. Because everybody of us, we are healers. Just not everybody going to that way of healing or forgetting things why we came to this world. So yeah, I got gifted as well. So not just the medical way, but I got gifted. I had to go through of some spiritual awakening or hypnotherapy to reach to the point to know from where I got this.
I know there's a really beautiful story in there, so I want to talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit more about how different emotions tend to store in different organ parts and why.
Why? So, you know, it's like you get some shock a day. It can be a lot of things. You get a message from somebody and you can get frustrated. And that's frustration. It can store anywhere in the body. And it's medically or spiritually, with everybody is different. Mm-hmm. Because in my thinking, in the grief is in the spleen. Betrayal is in the spleen.
For you.
For you. When I finding. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I can find betrayal or jealousy in the gut. So we are not a books. And yes, the Chinese medicines they're really, really good because I'm using also the spleen, liver, kidney, lungs awakening. So I'm using like pumping to give back the energy, all those organs. And for example, the liver, it's connected to the lymphatic system. First, when I start to treat somebody, I prefer to wake all the biggest organs, lung, spleen, liver, and kidneys. Mm-hmm. So many times, you know, the kidneys can be without energy. Reason why, in Chinese they say, you give birth to a person, you give out energy from your body. Mm-hmm. You have 3 kids. I see this, the 1, 2, 3 kids, 4 kids, the lady comes, I have headache, I have pain here, and the doctor told me I have fibromyalgia. I said, okay, C-section is there, how many kids, how was the traumatic, the delivery, how is your relationship with your husband, family members, what's going on? Did you have a car accident? All these things are related to our life. We had a case. Came one lady, and she could not even talk. She said, I went for the physio. Oh, they were so hard to me, and lot of things. I said, okay, go home. After 2 days, please come. She came, and she could not even talk. She says, I have ear problem, I have ringing, headaches, everything in once. I said, okay, what else you have in your organs? She has, I have polyps. They removed the 22 polyps from my stomach a few days ago. I said, okay, let's look at this. And she said, if anything I eat, I get bloating. I said, okay. So we need to reduce the bloating food at the moment. We start with the stomach. We release the stomach, and I was using bioenergy stimulator device. It's called BEST.
BEST, bioenergy stimulation.
Yes.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So that one is also helping to me to restore the tissues, to don't give extra energy from me.
And Peyman, maybe you can step in here and talk a little bit about this BEST machine. I found it very interesting. It felt a little ticklish sometimes, as if there was like energy running through me. What is this bioenergy stimulator?
Bioenergy, yes.
What is it doing?
Basically, a gentleman, his name is Jacques Calloway. He's from Belgium. He himself is a physiotherapist. So throughout his practices, he's noticed that he can reach to there's a limit for what he can do with his hand in the body. So he can reach to your muscles and everything else, but not to the kidney. What if the problem is in the kidney? So he's created this device which sends microcurrents throughout your body, and these microcurrents are kind of similar to the same wavelength that your brain talks to your organs and tissues. And when we put the patches in the right place, we can cleanse and energize that area of the body. So the kidney, we had an 82 years old lady who came, and she couldn't even sit when she came. She was lying on the bench. She went to Anita, and she thought that she has a lower back pain. She said, "Oh, it's my back pain." She went to Anita, she came out, and then after we cleansed and energized her liver, liver, kidney, one of the two. I remember when she came to the front desk reception, she was doing like this and she was saying, "I can dance now." The person who couldn't even sit before the session.
In one session?
In one session. Because it wasn't her lower back. It was the liver. It was that organ that needed to be cleansed and energized. And BEST does that, addresses those issues within by increasing the ATP in your body 500 to 800%.
And by doing that, does that mean it also regenerates your mitochondria?
Yes.
And so, yeah, when I had it, I wonder if that's a common thing. But afterwards, I didn't know if it was that or the spinal adjustment or what. But I felt quite light. I felt open, and then I did feel like I had a lot of energy for a few days. And then I might have expended it because one day I ended up crashing like a few days later, and I was like, I wonder if all the ATP is like exited my system. I don't know how that works.
It's a combination. It's a combination of those four things. For example, if I'm working on your organs, I can working on your pituitary gland, medulla oblongata. We have things around our body what usually the therapists, they don't treat, or just they focusing locally. Okay, you have a neck pain. Okay, take this medication, do X-ray, go for operation and things around. But they forgetting how we can regenerate things around. So when we look at this, we was that ATP. So I was working on her stomach, and I was working around the craniosacral, medulla oblongata, because that's also store some emotions. Or there is a processor in this part. There are specific movements. When you all the time, oh, I have a back pain, I have a back pain, I have a back pain, I have a pain here, I have a pain here. So your brain, it's there, like a small program. So we need to open that program. There is specific movement. When it's the processor, you open, relax. Then you go back to the organs and release the organs around. So it's very fascinating when you release the liver. It can connect it to the right shoulder. Stomach can go to the left shoulder. So then it shoot up to the neck, right or left.
That is fascinating.
You can have disc herniation, sciatica in your back. And the question is, if they come, is it the sciatica, or you have constipation or appendix problem? So if there is any construction or a problem there, then it can pull your muscle and making sciatica.
When I think of the sciatica, I think of several years ago, I had this. I was going to Portugal to see a friend, and we were going to this retreat. And the moment I got on the plane, I started to feel this pain. And then once I got there, it was so debilitating, I couldn't get up by myself out of bed. And so I was going to all these different osteopaths, these like 6, 7, 8 different people, someone who did a spinal alignment for me, someone who is more into doing, those like ding, and then trying to align the energies of my body. And they're like, oh yeah, something is stuck. And finally on the last day, I was there for 2 weeks, and my entire trip, it was just this aching. It was so debilitating. I was in so much pain. It was so odd. And I finally went to this osteopath. She was Brazilian. And she said, darling, I don't think that this is actually physical. I think it's emotional. I was like, very possible. And so she grabbed my legs and did a sort of like the emotion code, a bio check. And we checked. We said, oh, is this about family? No. Is this about this, that? I was coming up with all possible. I was like, is it about this? No. Is it about something related to work? Yes. I was like, what? I'm not stressed about work. I'm on holiday, you know? But it turned out, and I took a moment for me to clock it. But the day before I left on this flight, I had a very confronting conversation with an ex-boss who was like a father-like figure to me. He was an amazing leader and really empowered me. But at the end of our time working together, there was something that happened that was like really felt like a betrayal. And in that conversation, I had confronted him about it. And I thought it was great because I had said my piece and I said, by the way, I know that this happened and I'm not okay with it, but I'm going to let it go. But you know, basically don't do it again. And we're good. Like that, our relationship can end there. And I told her this and I said, I was very proud of myself. I was open. I talked about my boundaries. I did all the right things. This should have been like completely fine. And she said, just because you did all of the right things doesn't mean that the betrayal it came back alive. Like it's still there and it's still in pain. And I was like, oh, how do I release it? And, you know, she helped a little bit and she was burping while she was doing it.
Yeah.
All of these things. But it was remarkable that I realized, oh, even if you try and mentally deal with something or in the physical world, try and do all of the right things, it still can be stuck in your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Peyman, I understand when you and Anita met, Anita was working on you.
Correct.
And you had a deep back pain issue for many, many years. I'm curious, what was, in the end, what do you think brought on your back pain?
Well, yeah, basically, I was working with a bunch of physiotherapists, but this back pain kept coming back. So then I started looking for somebody who can kind of strengthen my core, fix my posture. Anita at the time was working with spiral stabilization. So we started together, but then I realized that the pain is not really coming from my back, and it's from my chest muscles. They're very tight. And again, I first thought that it's because of my lifestyle, being on the computer, driving, and not exercising, but smoking at the time. But then I realized that it's coming from a childhood trauma when I had several different treatments. So yeah, it's interesting that a trauma from your childhood becomes a physical pain. It starts bothering you at the age of after 40 years old, you know?
Yeah.
So
when you read books like what The Body Keeps the Score,
yes,
it's almost like the body is the last one to speak to you. It's the emotions try and talk to you in so many different ways, and if you just don't listen for 4, 5, 6 decades, all of a sudden, I find when we're in our 30s and 40s, we really start feeling it in our bodies. Like they're really trying to tell you something.
I love this line that says, issues store in your tissues.
And I read somewhere recently that the fascia is like our emotional spider web in our bodies, like because it's so interconnected and it's so sensitive to our nervous system. Can you speak more into that for those people that don't understand, first of all, what fascia is and why do we store things there?
Simple way to explain what is fascia, how it look like. When you cut the chicken, the breast, and you see that white things around the
it's like a little sinewy, like a spider web kind of.
Spider web. And our muscle, like this is like a bunch of muscle, and every muscle has a fascia around. Like it's a very small tissue, every fascia.
It's almost like, mushrooms have mycelium underneath the ground.
Yes.
It kind of feels like it might be like that. And the mycelium is supposed to be something that communicates, like all the trees, all of the living ecosystem communicate using mycelium. And if I were to transpose that to our bodies, it feels like the fascia is the thing where energy moves through our body. And so our nervous system is, of course, linked to all of that.
Yeah, and especially if you do an operation, okay? I give a simple example, a C-section. So nowadays, they cutting lower part of the C-section. So it goes 7 layers inside. And by the Chinese medicine, they say they cut off your energy of life. So when we look at the medical way, this is connected to vertical muscle chains. So it's exactly the spiral stabilization. They're saying it's starting from abductors and up to the neck and the back of the spine. So if they're cutting off here, automatically your head drop down. So they have, again, it's a little bit not emotional, but we have these cases as well. When they cut off or any problem, breast cancer, they remove here, it can cause you neck pain because all the tissue is removed and shrinked.
Yeah, it's easy for us in this modern time to feel like, mastectomy or whatever, let's have this surgery, but actually everything is so interconnected that cutting a little piece of course, when you think about it that way, it has massive consequences that maybe we're not fully aware of.
Yes. Every single little operation can cause fascia pulling. So all the time, I see that therapists, they look at also where it's coming from. They look at focusing on the fascia. Because they're doing cupping, Graston is that name. So the physical, like a physiotherapist, they're focusing about this. We have also physiotherapists there, so it's really depends. We're dividing exact clients where to go. So if we see, this person is not open spiritually, it goes somewhere else. Or I got a guy from Russia. I know the daughter is spiritually open, but the father not. So I don't talk to them on spiritual way, but I go to medical way.
Whatever language they speak, you speak to them.
Yes. So I'm talking their language. If you want medical way, but slowly I telling them, but this hip issue, you see here, is this. He said, yes. And I said, there can be emotions start, and I let go. Then he comes back and he say, you was right. There can be something. Because I all the time tell them, go back to your life. Look what can trigger you out. Your best friend can trigger you out. Your wife, your brother. So sometimes like you doing some jokes of me, for example, and I don't like it, then you go this. And then I was like, I have a shoulder pain. But why is that shoulder pain? What's triggering it out? Or I had a beautiful story for one lady. I was around her. It was around here, in this part of the gut. And she was like, my boss was not so nice to me. She's very, I don't want to use the word. And I asked, is the first woman in your life triggered like this? No. Previous work, there was one more lady like this. So my question, who in your childhood triggered out the same emotion what that lady? She said, it was my grandmother. When I was 10, I felt unworthy. So I leading them slowly back to their root.
Now, I have a question around this, though, because I've always wondered, I do often, find little things. And obviously, when I worked with you as well, you're like, oh, yeah, this has to do with your mom, and this has to do with an abandonment thing, and this, that. And I was like, yep, I've worked with all of that. But once in a while, something will come along and I have no idea what it is, but I know that the emotion is stored there in my body. And I think I gave you this example. I had a PT that would stretch me out afterwards, and my hips have always been so tight. And he really tried to stretch it out for me. And all of a sudden, I just started crying. And he's like, "Are you okay? Oh my God." And I was like, "No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm releasing something, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I know I feel fear and I feel like just all this pent up emotion, and I'm crying." So I'm like, it's probably a good thing. But I have this question of, do I need to figure out what that trauma I'm storing there is in order for me to release it? Or physically, can it just be released through?
Not necessary all the time.
Say more.
For me, if I daily I have certain people, if I see every single person trauma, or I know something they did illegal, I don't want to go inside because it can affect me. Like so many times we met healers. You got too many things after absorb, and you are not able to release. And that's why I saw some like healers, I see they get overweight. They don't know how to release all these things. If I go exactly to all the small details, what the person had see in his life, in this life, I cannot go to the past life. I go little bit cuckoo. I don't want to see these things.
This is
hard.
why I probably could never be a therapist, even though I trained in it. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could. I have a very porous emotional barrier. So if someone is going through something,
it's empathy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a nice way of saying it. But every therapist or coach or healers that I speak to, they say it's the hardest part. They really have to learn to create boundaries and to make sure that when they're working on someone, not too much of that really leaks into them.
Yeah.
So you shield yourself, and then you have to ground yourself.
And I wonder, actually, this is a perfect opportunity to ask you, Anita, because recently you've been sort of knocked out with things. Is it because you're feeling too much from all of the clients that you're seeing?
Yes and no. I have too many responsibilities around me, like a single mother. I love to heal people, and things around sometimes is overwhelming. So that time, I understand, okay, take a break. Even if I want to push from up, they tell me, you have a break. If I have to go, they give me energy, what I cannot control, and I do it. I'm not talking about this so many times. Sometimes I have no energy, but I enter to the room, I completely change. But I cannot talk to external people. Because I know at work, if I enter, I don't talk. I have my time, I go exit, but I don't talk to other people. Because I don't want to bring the external things inside to the room. So what is inside the room, it's inside the room. If somebody else talk to me about some small things, it's take me out from the
energetic space.
Yes. So, but I'm doing my grounding as well. And so sometimes yes, sometimes no. But they give me the specific time. Now you're gonna rest.
Did you find anything surprising about my visit with you?
So many times I think I'm not able to tell people what they feel or about babies, what they want to do. But the most biggest change when I see it's the 4th session. That time I can go deeper into the person, because the first session we opening the head, mouth. The mouth is the unspoken words. So if I touch there, it's usually after the second session come the unspoken words. People get tears. So if you come next time, it's gonna be deeper. Because that time we was discussing the last week, right? It was the weak emotions. So it's the second session or third sessions, I go more backwards to the childhood.
I'm curious what you both see in today's society. I mean, as you said, we're running all of the time. Some people say this is the generation that basically lives from the neck up. We're really not very embodied. We're really in our heads all of the time, thinking, strategizing. What is the impact of that? Why should people care? Why are people coming to you for a different way?
They want to be young.
That's one of the things, but they come with different issues, and sometimes they come with one, and then we address a couple of other things. And this one was just the chain reaction of what they had here. Sometimes you think your internal body or but you don't have the time to ground. Infrared sauna, I mean, one of the things Anita says, you disconnect for 45 minutes, but the other thing is that this specific infrared has 5-6 different programs. The one that is for detoxification, it really detoxifies your body. And it's a very good tool for grounding. We have a Reiki master who's living and working very close to us. She says, Peyman, for grounding, I've been doing everything. And, she deals with people's crap all the time. There's Reiki, energy, take this, take that. She says, the way I ground in this infrared sauna, it's like not even comparable to anything else. It's just the best thing I have found here. But yeah, because they don't have the time and we have a client whose sessions are over. She's fine. She came with a pain, but she still wants to continue. But my therapist, our other therapist says she only wants to connect. She only wants to talk, be touched. So people live in isolation. We don't talk to anybody. So if somebody is there, like Anita, to touch on a point, emotional point, or about your life, then you open up to them. Or you can come there and have a tea and start talking about your issues at work.
Do you see loneliness as an epidemic? Like you really feel it and see it here?
In some of the people, I mean, it's not as bad as some Western countries, I can say. But yeah, it
there
depends.
is a bit of hustle culture here. Everyone's just working in front of their laptops. I definitely, when I'm not in balance, I feel it too.
Yeah, loneliness.
Yes.
And how does that present in people's bodies?
We have some clients, he's not even living, is not getting out from his home. He coming 3 times to us.
You guys are the only place he goes?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Wow. And how does it present in him?
When he came first time to us, he could not even walk without support because he has MS. But with this case, yes, I'm working on his emotions. With his case, we did emotional best. We have a functional doctor comes in as well. We take the blood test, what hormone is up and down. We make the panel, and he taking his supplements as well. So in some cases, we need external things as well. His hair got darker. Now he's thinking of the girlfriends after, it's 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year.
I love that. You smiled, Peyman, as soon as she said that.
Yeah, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of close to us now because he's been coming for a year. Even his family are thankful for that because now he gets up in the morning, he has a reason to leave the house, shaves, when He comes there, everybody tells him, oh, you look good. When he's leaving, he's fresh, he's feeling energized. And yeah, I mean, the hormone therapy. So basically, we also do work with a functional medicine doctor very closely for some of our guests. So she came in, prescribed some hormones, and now he's feeling 10 times better, energized. And yeah, I mean, even his hair is not turning dark and black, yeah.
I wonder if have you guys done the longevity, or not the longevity, the chronological age test with him?
He did.
I did with him, and it's his internal age is younger than him. But I didn't tell him for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he also has another issue, but then I don't want to open it here. So basically, we wanted him to continue his treatments till we reach a point that we can tell him that, okay, you're okay inside.
Yeah.
But you have to take some steps.
Let me ask you, I mean, ultimately, if we zoom out, what we're saying is that a lot of trapped emotions are living in our bodies, right? What is it? Are we afraid of these emotions? What is it, fear mostly, or is it just total unconsciousness towards the fact that they exist? What do you think is the issue?
So many times people, they don't want to face the reality or what they want, what they faced before. So they can touch alcohol, drugs, whatever. So they don't want to face.
It's easier to numb out than
Yes.
to address
Yes.
something in their past and really meet it.
And some things is subconscious.
But some of them we don't know. Just have this back pain like me. Then it comes here, then it's emotion. But then I was in near Levy workshop yesterday. Both cases were there. Sometimes you know what the issue is, but it's culturally so big you cannot address it. I'll give you an example, very obvious one in Dubai. A lot of Filipinos send their salary back home to their families. So there is this girl who knows about this, and this is bothering her because she has reached to the point that she knows that she's not living for herself and she's living for her family. How many people? 5. You know, so this burden is there. But when you ask her why you don't want to get rid of it, she says, so the burden, this thing on my back is there that they've done so much for me. Now I have to give it back. And then making this person to turn around to that family and tell them, I'm not going to send you any money from next month. It's difficult. So some of them are cultural. Some of them, it's in our unconscious. Some of them, we don't want to even face that fact that our mom, our mother, like, I mean, you just mentioned that a lot of things comes from families. So it was my mom who suppressed, or it was me that I suppressed these feelings because of my mother, for example. Do you want to face your mom one day and tell her it was you? If I'm like this today, it's because of your pressure. So all of these, they're like different.
It's a Pandora's
reasons.
box, and I
Pandora's
think
box,
people
yeah.
go, oh, it's fine, we'll just keep marching forward. But I also think it's such a beautiful opportunity for greater intimacy as well. I think a lot of people are afraid of confronting these things and thinking that it might create even more disconnection or this separation, perhaps with someone who did antagonize you when you were young, or we all have traumas from our parents, whether they loved us or not, you know. But what I have found with all of my friends who've done this work, and I can speak for myself, is it's challenging. It takes a lot of courage. It takes an open heart. It takes sometimes a lot of work on yourself before you're ready to even confront anyone else with it. But when that has happened, to my shock and surprise, because I've become okay with whatever the trauma was, it no longer held the charge. And so when I brought it up with my mother or with my father, different instances, it was welcome. It was also like a surprise in some cases, but they were welcome, and it was a conversation we could have, which was incredibly healing. And sometimes it was a conversation I never opened, but after doing work on it, like I did a lot of work around my sister. I would consider her we laugh about it now, but she was my first example of unrequited love. Like I loved her to death, and she hated my guts. And like seriously, for most of all of my childhood. And a few years ago, after I'd done a lot of work around the sister wound, and I have so many beautiful female friends now, and I credit that journey to really always wanting that with my own sister. But I never really confronted her about it. I mean, I thought everyone knew, so there's no reason. But one day I got a phone call from her after I'd been doing some really intense work around it for about a year. And she was the one in tears kind of saying, my God, I was so horrible to you. And I'm so sorry. And I was completely caught off guard. And things like that, I think, really do happen when you really focus on, I know a lot of therapists that say, it might be, your parents might be dead. And it's okay. Energetically, you can still cleanse that. And it's really how you hold these traumas and how much meaning you put to them, later in life.
And I thought, like, if I look at back, it's just, okay, I'm European, Soviet Union. It was just my parents. They could not talk about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But if I talk to different culture, they say, yes, my parents, they could not express themselves. I think that's a generational things, what we bring it from backwards.
Yeah.
The wars, how I know my great-grandfather, he wanted to kill my grandfather because he got some sickness from the war. Then my grandfather wanted to kill my uncle, example. So it's the things what they brought generational. So we need to understand this. So why it was implemented to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just now or this, or it can go generation now.
Yeah, that's what I've always found as I look at my family lineage. It's often, at the beginning, if you're really upset at someone, you just think, wow, they're a dick. But actually, if you really look at why they're behaving that way, you don't have to look very far to go, oh, wow, what a really traumatic experience for you. No wonder you react this way in this circumstance. But unless we're all open to confront the things that are going on with us and also to speak about, sometimes I react this way because I had this incident.
Yeah.
And it's not an excuse, but I just want you to know.
You're going to pass it on to your next generation, to your child. If
Yeah,
you don't
if
heal
I
it,
have children.
in general, we're going to do that.
Yeah, but I do see that. I see the
It's
younger
pattern.
generation being more open.
So we are mammals, they say, you imitate what you see. Or you get the same program. If somebody shouted at you, it takes courage and a lot of educational, programs for you to understand. If your father always had a glass of whiskey in his hand, it was a bad thing. So for some people, they reach a point, they resent it. They say, okay, I don't want that. I don't want to touch it because I saw so many fights at home. It came from that. But then when it's a normal thing, it's a thing that is in family. So you also get 14 years old and 16 years old. So it's a norm. So you start drinking too. So it goes from one generation to the next. Same thing as behavior. So, yeah.
And it's also the opposite, right? Sometimes we inherit the same thing. And then other times in our attempt to stop it, we reject it, as you said. And the pendulum swings to the other side, and it becomes repressed, and then it becomes this other extreme. And so that plays out over time. So fascinating. Like ultimately, we just have to address what's there
Yes.
and accept it and be okay with it.
So many times we get the mirror. I all the time trying to explain to them, okay, look at the situation now, okay? Look how that person see the things. She's right, you are right. She's not right, you are not right. How we can resolve this without extra emotional intake. Just look at the things like, okay, we got angry about that one. Okay, you say it's white, I say it's black. I'm right or you are right. All of us, we have right. So we need to make it in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
How to understand each other to make forward our relationship. So many times I see the wife and the husband. The husband wants to implement something to the wife, and the wife start after 15 years understanding I have my also rights. I don't need to do this everything what my husband say and just say okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many times, women suppressing our emotion because of fear, the guy going to leave. Nobody taught us how to live in relationship.
100%.
Nobody teaching in the schools these things. How I can live with the guy. If I say my opinion, he's gonna leave. And another woman. They don't leave for the another woman because they look better. It's how they communicate to each other.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because most men, when they are with a woman that does speak their mind, so long as it's done with respect and whatnot, they feel more safe in that relationship than with someone who doesn't speak their mind at all, because that is an unknown. And so there's no intimacy there if there's no truth there. I love this conversation because, and I love what you guys do, because often we talk about really getting into the depths and doing the therapy and looking at our shadows and looking at the repressed things or suppressed things. But the other side of this conversation is that we can come to you and actually, if we have a hard time talking about it in therapy, or if maybe we don't know at all, maybe we think we're totally fine. But something is nagging at us. Something is sore. Something is like, oh, I should maybe get checked out. If those people that have that inkling, what we're talking about today is that we can go the other route. We can go through our physical body and allow our physical body to tell us what's happening. And so if someone out there is going, this sounds like maybe an easier path than talk therapy or all the other crazy things that Erica talks about all the time. What would you recommend if someone's really feeling a little off and they think that there might be something? Maybe they're almost sure that there is a trauma, but they actually have no idea what it is. What would you recommend to them?
We can start a few ways. We had a lady from Bahrain, and she said we have C-section with the uterus compressed. So she has a lot of things. I said, okay, let's start. We start the treatment, we go to medical way. Unfortunately, sometimes I cannot control and I yawn. I touched her shoulder. I have a pain here. I said, okay. And I said, I'm sorry, but there is some emotions about your brother. And she was like, yeah. And, and it's a little bit crucial to talk because she's Muslim. Okay. So when I explaining to them, like there is emotion and how I work with it, I believe in there. So I'm explaining to them, I work with Mother Mary. So it's a light blue color. We can talk it in spiritual way. They say light blue color. I say Divine Mother color. So it's the healing. So I explained to her, like, okay, I'm here. I cannot control this. I'm yawning. I went to her lower back. I was completely okay. Then I went back again to her upper body and I was yawning. And she understood, like, yeah, there is my brother and he's triggering me out. But I think it was past. Then she went back home and she came back. You know what? We had this lunch and my brother came and he triggered me out. But now I understand that shoulder pain, it's coming from him. So I laugh at him. So now every Saturday we have the lunch and now I just smile. Now I know I don't have that pain. It's coming from him. So sometimes really we're starting on medical way, or she go for lymphatic system. So they opening the lymphatic activation. We are using pumping more on medical way. So that's also able to open the energy around the body. Because the lymphatic system, also the waist. If your waist is congested, it's very interesting. Even your heart, it's connected to your lymphatic system. Because all those small tiny vessels are blocked. Then the flow of the detox, your pain is not going away. So it's keep accumulating in your body. You can be so many times full of chemicals or toxins. Or so many times people, they go under IV. There is a new fashion.
In Dubai, you can order an IV anywhere.
My recommendation is first, make your blood test. What exactly your body needs and supplement only that things. Make the blood test and supplement.
Only what you need.
What you need. Because if you overeating, for example, fat, it's your lymphatic system slow down. When I'm talking, for example, about the food, why people are getting chubbier, it's not all the time. It can be the hormone in the food, meat, chicken. You need to look at what you're buying. Also, so many times I see here, they put sugar, tenderized chicken. If you turn around, you see extra sugar. So you think you're eating healthy, but no.
Yeah. Don't get the marinated meats.
Yes. Or what I'm facing so many times, like, it's come during the week, they're okay with the diet. Come the weekend, okay, they go. Wine, cheese, sweet, pizza.
Yeah, they're called cheat days.
Yeah, cheat days. But if you do these 4 together, you block again your lymphatic system.
Really?
Yeah. And
Come to us on Mondays.
Come to us on Monday.
If you were to give a top advice for making sure your lymphatic system is functioning, because I know a lot of people who are going through heavy metal detoxes and those sort of things right now, what would you say that would be?
Infrared sauna, lymphatic system, detox, supplementation. You can take supplement and watch your food. If you want to, and herbs, especially teas. He's expert with the teas. So he's expert with the teas and really the food, what you are eating. Try to eat less processed food. If you want to do the cheat day, do a cheat meal in the weekend. But choose, for example, fat with alcohol, okay? Sweet with alcohol, but don't combine everything together. Because you block your lymphatic system for 6 days.
Because you're saying all 3 of those are kind of poisonous to your lymphatic system.
Yeah, and gluten. So 3, 4. Gluten.
Got it.
If you make it in big portion, I like to be slim and fit. So even for me, for example, the grounding is the gym. For me, it's more the gym and beach. But sometimes really to get to the beach, I cannot. So then I'm using the infrared sauna.
Infrared sauna sounds like a good call. And a cold plunge.
Yes.
Peyman, Anita, we could speak for hours, but our time has come to an end. I thank you very, very much for your time and for your wisdom and for your healing, Anita. It was really lovely.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, it was lovely having this conversation. How can people find you if they want to reach out?
We are in Spring Souk, Wellnest. Our website is wellnest.ae, or they can find us wellnest.ae on Instagram. So
perfect. We'll put it all in the show notes. I really, really
great.
appreciate your time.
And soon we are opening the second location.
Yes, we've already got a location in Nad al-Shiba.
In Nad al-Shiba.
Yes,
Excellent.
the other side of the city. So hopefully by February next year, we will open the second one.
Excellent. Good luck with that.
Great.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey there. If you like this episode and you're getting some beautiful transmissions or are feeling inspired to support this podcast in any way, the best way to do that is to give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube, or wherever it is that you're plugging into the Enlightened DXB podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at EnlightenedDXB. If you want to reach out to any of the guests we have on the show, you can check out their profiles and their work at www.enlighteneddxb.com. And for those of you in Dubai looking for community, retreats, or additional resources, you can also sign up to our emailing list there. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, I wish you more joy, more ease, and a little sprinkle of grace.